Questions. Let. About professional education. Part 5. Question number 1. Which learning theory emphasizes learning by doing? Letter A. Behaviorism. Letter B. Constructivism. Letter C. Humanism. Letter D. Cognitive theory. The correct answer is letter B. Constructivism, because it emphasizes active learning where individuals learn best by doing, exploring and constructing knowledge through experiences, reflections, and interactions, making students to become active participants in the learning process. Question number 2. Which principle is most violated when a teacher gives special favors to bright students only? Letter A. Principle of variety. Letter B. Principle of motivation. Letter C. Principle of fairness. Letter D. Principle of integration. The correct answer is letter C. Principle of fairness. If a teacher favors only on the bright students, the slower learners will unfairly deprived for equal opportunity, and it's violating the principle of fairness. Principle of teaching. The principle of fairness is treating all students equally without bias or favoritism and giving them an equal opportunities to excel in their own way. The principle of variety. The teachers will use different teaching methods, strategies, and activities to keep learners interested and engaged. The principle of motivation. Stimulates students' curiosity and drive, so they actively participate because learning is more stronger and meaningful when students are motivated. The principle of integration is to connect lessons to real-life situations and past experiences or across different subjects so that learning becomes holistic, because learning is most effective when lessons are linked to life. Question number 3. Who introduced the concept of zone of proximal development, ZPD? Letter A. Jean Piaget. Letter B. Jerome Bruner. Letter Century B. F. Skinner. Letter D. Lev Vygotsky. The correct answer is letter D. Zone of proximal development belongs to socio-cultural theory made by Lev Vygotsky. The theory of Jean Piaget is cognitive development theory. The theory of Jerome Bruner is discovery learning. The theory of B. F. Skinner is operant conditioning. The zone of proximal development, ZPD, is sociocultural theory made by Lev Vygotsky. It is a learning zone, the gap between these two levels. First, the actual development level. It is what the learner can do independently, without any help. Second is the potential development level. It is what the learner can do or achieve with the guidance or support from a more knowledgeable person like teacher, parent, peer. For example, Toby, a grade 1 student, can solve a simple addition. This is the actual development, but with the guidance by the teacher, he can solve a word problems involving addition. This is the potential development. ZPD is the learning zone where growth happens with support. Question number 4. Which of the following best describes differentiated instruction? Letter A. Teaching the same way to all students. Letter B. Assigning only extra work to advanced students. Letter C. Adjusting teaching methods to meet students' diverse needs. Letter D. Grouping students by ability permanently. The correct answer is letter C. Adjusting teaching methods to meet students' diverse needs. For example, a grade 3 students have struggle fractions. A teacher can use visual aids, such as pie charts or fraction bars, and prepare some hands-on activities to demonstrate what fractions like 1/2, 2/3, or 3/4 looks like, because differentiated instruction means recognizing that students have different learning styles, abilities, interests, and readiness levels. Question number 5. A teacher notices that some students learn better with visuals, while others prefer discussions. She divides the class into groups. One group is analyzing charts, Another group is doing debates. This illustrates differentiation by letter A, process, letter B, content, letter C, product, letter D, environment. The correct answer is letter A, process. Differentiation by process means it considers students' interests and abilities by adapting on their learning activities. Using charts for visual learners and debates for those who learn best through discussion allows the teacher to match the lessons to each student's preferred learning style, ensuring that they engage with the material in a way that suits them best. The 4 parts of differentiated instruction that was pioneered by Carol Ann Tomlinson are: first is differentiation by content is what a students learn. The teacher adjusts the materials or topics based on students' readiness, interests, or ability. Second is differentiation by process. How students make sense of the lesson. The teacher varies the activities or methods students use to engage with the content. Third is the differentiation by product. How students demonstrate what they learned. The teacher can offer choices in outputs or final tasks. Fourth is the differentiation by learning environment. Where and with what conditions students learn. The teacher adjusts the classroom setup or atmosphere to support diverse learners. Question number 6. Maria reviews her notes after class and highlights the main ideas, then she summarizes them in her own words. What study strategy is she using? Letter A, passive reading. Letter B, metacognitive strategy. Letter C, surface learning. Letter D, repetition drill. The correct answer is letter B. Maria's strategy is metacognitive because she is not just reading passively. By highlighting the main ideas, she is monitoring her understanding. And by summarizing the notes in her own words, she is evaluating what she has learned. These actions show that she is actively thinking about her own learning process. Question 7. Liza writes the spelling of photosynthesis repeatedly 5 times until she recalls it correctly. Letter A, drill and practice. Letter B, retrieval practice. Letter C, mnemonic strategy. Letter D, understanding. The correct answer is letter A, drill and practice, because Liza is mastering the spelling through repetition. By writing the word 5 or several times, she reinforces it in her memory until she gets it right. The drill and practice is a learning strategy that involves repeating the same task or information many times until it is mastered. And it's strengthened to memory through repetition. The retrieval practice, a learning strategy that involves actively by recalling information from memory without looking at notes or books, and it's strengthened into long-term memory by testing yourself sometimes through flashcards. Question number 8. Peter, a grade 2 student, uses counting blocks to solve subtraction but struggles with abstract math. What Piagetian stage is this? Letter A, pre-operational. Letter B, concrete operational. Letter C, formal operational. Letter D, sensory motor. The correct answer is letter B, concrete operational, because, for example, Peter uses building blocks to solve. This shows he relies on concrete objects to understand subtraction. At this stage, children think logically only when problems are tied to real, hands-on materials. The ability to solve subtraction mentally, without using objects, develops later in the formal operational stage. Question number 9. Which of the following is an example of direct teaching strategy? Letter A, inquiry method. Letter B, cooperative learning. Letter C, lecture. Letter D, role-playing. The correct answer is letter C, Lecture, because direct teaching strategies are teacher-centered approaches where the teacher takes the lead in delivering information, explaining concepts, and demonstrating skills. Lecture is direct teaching because the teacher provides information directly to students, and students mainly listen, take notes, and absorb the material. Direct strategies or teacher-centered approaches has four main types. First is lecture, in which the teacher explains the topic directly to students and students will focus on listening, note-taking, and receiving information. Second is the demonstration, in which the teacher shows a step-by-step how something is done. Like solving a math problem, doing a science experiment. The students learn by observing the teacher's example. Third is the explicit instruction, or guided practice. The teacher gives a clear, sequenced instructions, then guides students through practice. It is often used in teaching skills like grammar rules, reading strategies, or math procedures. Fourth is the drill and practice, in which the repeated exercises will reinforce mastery of knowledge or skills. For example, spelling drills, math facts practice, or pronunciation drills. Question number 10. A baby first controls head movement, then trunk, then legs. Which principle is illustrated? Letter A. Cephalocaudal development. Letter B. Proximodistal development. Letter C. Maturation before learning. Letter D. Simple to complex. The correct answer is letter A. Cephalocaudal development. There are two key principles in development direction. First is the cephalocaudal, by which development starts at the head and moves downward. For example, babies gain control of the head and neck first, then the trunk, and lastly the legs and feet. And the second is proximodistal, by which development starts from the center outward like trunk before arms or hands. Thank you for watching.